started.
Hold on. Wait, don't start yet. No,
It's
it's
too
too late.
late.
What do you mean it's too late?
It's too late. I
I
clicked
know.
start.
We're 4 minutes late.
We're not. I didn't put a time on anything. We're not late at all.
Yeah, we did.
On
Or did you change it when I put it up?
on none of the posts that I made to any of the groups did I put a time.
Well, the one on our website said.
Oh, but does anybody look at our website?
I think so.
Okay. Well, Lord
But
Draconis is there.
See, there you go.
Okay. Yeah,
But
we're good.
nobody's. I don't even know what you have up.
I just have the logo right now.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Echo. I want to be like Tom and have an
Yeah.
echo.
Turn that off. All right. So what I have up, since you're clearly not paying attention to what I'm doing,
No.
I have the
How come
what
you have
sent
pictures
me.
of us up on the stream instead of just the logo?
I don't know. The only person on the stream that you can see is me because I'm at my house right in the stream.
Oh yeah, there you are.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
could have gone to your house.
FLG stream is a tough act to follow. We're not their competition axis.
Also, we don't have Jeff to give a re-shit the whole time.
It's true too.
That was the best.
That was pretty good. Yeah. Oh man, that was pretty good.
Wow, he has no filter at all sometimes.
Mm.
Which, if you really listen, did you listen to the part where Reese had to tell him no to stop talking?
No, well, I mean, I watched as much of it as I could because I was at work.
Okay,
So-
I'll mention after.
Oh, okay.
Because he mentioned something, and well, he started to mention something, and Reese was like, "We don't talk about that."
Nice.
He's like,
That's
"Oops."
funny. We're gonna talk about Tau. Is that what
It
you
was
were
not
saying?
about. It was not about Tau, but it could affect Tau. Something that would affect everybody.
Hey, Tony's on.
Wow,
Hammerhead
there's a lot of
Games.
people.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
No PUBG.
So I guess we should actually talk about what we wanted on to talk about.
All right, well, hey everybody. As you know, you can't see any of us except for John because he's narcissistic that way.
John always needs to be the center of attention. He is the
Yes.
most well-known 40K judge in the world, after all.
That's a reference to the latest chapter tactics, if you didn't know.
That's what I hear.
And I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
I didn't hear you dispute it either.
I did dispute it.
I don't remember. All I remember is you not disputing it because that's better for my narrative.
Right, of course it is.
For those for those that haven't been around out there, as everyone knows, today the FAQ dropped.
Yep.
Or I should say FAQs,
Yes.
since
FAQs,
there's
multiples.
a change in almost every codex,
Yeah,
except for the Blood Angel, Dark Angel,
was it 13 total if you downloaded them, right?
something like that. I want to say 33, but that sounds like a lot. There's 33, but you only downloaded maybe 20 something of them.
Okay.
So not that much.
No.
Less than 1,000 pages.
Yeah. Less than 1,000 pages, which is just barely less than all the core rules for all the codexes and everything else put together. Thanks for the reference, by the way.
Oh, no problem.
I like it. So
I mean, it's not like having to figure out what the size of the hitbox is or anything like that.
strike zone. I'm sorry, I called it. I wasn't the first one to use the term. I just kept going on what he was
I
saying.
know you weren't, but you kept on using it. That's what made it funny.
Yeah. Whatever.
All right, whatever, hitbox. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm assuming. I guess we're playing BattleTech all of a sudden.
Whatever.
War Machine.
That's not a thing.
It's-
Neither of those things are a thing.
So anyway,
John
back on
clearly
topic.
does not know the sports ball.
I'm not a
Sports
sports ball
ball.
player.
Neither one. That's what happens when you have two of them together. So instead of going over every single change, I guess we're going to go over, I guess, the highlights or lowlights, depending on your perspective
Sure, why not? We can
Of,
use either term. I don't care.
of each one.
There's a bit of both.
Yes.
I don't know how you guys want to do it. If you guys just want to just pick things out of random that stuck out to you guys, I put a quick list of what stuck out to me,
yeah.
but they may not be as
Yeah, I can put up. So I have
Big
up on
as-
the screen your things that you sent me.
Oh,
The
okay.
ones that but we can go over other things first. Like, so Danny, what stuck out to you?
Well, the usual stuff that most mid players are pointing out, that Swarm Lord lost the ability to, rocket for Gene Stealers or anything out of Deep Strike.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, what I saw that was really cool was there's a ruling on things like early warning override that if you have something Deep Strike in that then disembarks troops like a Tyrannocyte, you can't shoot the troops. You can only shoot the Tyrannocyte or the drop pod or whatever.
Oh, really? Okay.
So yeah, that becomes a really nice. It actually becomes worth it to do those things because with all the kind of out of sequence shooting, you have a way to protect your unit that's popping out. Which I'd much rather people shoot at just a relatively worthless Tyrannocyte than the 20 double gaunts or 20 Gene Stealers that are popping out of it.
Okay, that's good. Sad Clown is asking if Astra Militarum is now mandatory for Imperials with 12 CP for brigades. And I'm saying so. No, because I think battalions providing 5 each is really good too.
Yeah, 2 battalions give you 10. My Chaos Army, if I keep the demon part of it, which I don't even know if I need to anymore, right, with some of the rule changes or the beta changes, I'm rocking 13 now, as as opposed to 9 before with the Chaos.
Yeah,
and
I also
Chaos doesn't even have a mechanic to regain CPs.
CP, yeah.
So you really only want
brigades take too much stuff. Like, you get too much nonsense with brigade. Like, you don't want to take 3 elites and the 3 fast. You don't want to have to fill up all those spots. Like, because you can get 2 battalions and only be 2 CP less, and you don't have to take all the nonsense you don't want to take.
Yeah, no. Brigade doesn't work unless you can actually get some mileage out of each and every unit, or each and every FOC slot. And 2 battalions just way better.
Right. The other thing I found interesting was the Adeptus or the Astra Militarum CP battery that everybody's been using. Like, I was using it last night with Adam, where I gained back CPs I use, and Adam was using a version of it too. You don't need it anymore. Like, if you're starting the game with 12 CPs anyways.
Yeah, you don't need that double dipping mechanic.
I mean, if I'm still going to take a Shadow Sword, then of course I'll take Kurov's Aquila or whatever. But I might not make the guy. I might not. No, I still might take that Warlord trait too, just because I'm taking that detachment. But if I'm not taking that detachment, I don't see a reason why I should build around that anymore.
Well, what you're going to take, especially if you're a guard army, you should probably just take the one. I think it's the Warlord trait that's for each CP, as opposed to just for one, like per stratagem for your opponent.
Right. Yeah.
Because you can get more back with that one. And if I think that's the case, then that opens up your relic slot to pick. Relic of Lost Cadia, which you can only use once officially now.
Right. Yeah, Custodes might still need him, is what I think Lord Draconis is saying in the chat. But Custodes eat up CPs so fast. I mean, even for my, we'll talk about Grey Knights in a minute, but even for my Grey Knight army, I think that
this is your minute. With
the battalions, I think I'd probably be okay. I don't know if I necessarily need it, but I still would probably take it because I like the Shadow Sword in the Grey Knight army as it is. Right.
Yeah, one of the things. So I'm just going over really quick for those that can see the paper on the screen. I thought it was important because Tau players are trying to almost double dip or take the stim injector from the index though because of the chart. And GW basically said you can't use the index version because it's a stratagem now.
Cheers.
Good. Yeah, the indexes should just die soon. Once everyone has a proper codex, they should just be removed.
Yeah, even though my 3 sorcerers on bikes who I haven't used an 8th yet, will miss it. They're now demoted to sergeants with power axes.
But they're awesome looking sergeants.
Yes. And then just a clarification on the Yavara that all their weapons are Nova. When you go Nova, it applies to all the weapons, not just one.
Right. That's the way we were ruling it locally.
Yes.
It came up. If
people were arguing.
Well, and some of the Tau players, because our Tau players are actually, decent human beings, we're arguing that no, it doesn't. And I was saying, no, it definitely does. You get the overcharge on all of them the way I'm reading it. And so that was pretty nice. But yeah, I like that they clarified it.
Yeah, then just other quick things that just popped out to me was I guess unfortunately for Razorbacks, if you overcharge the plasma, they actually die, which I thought was funny.
That is pretty funny, yes.
Razorbacks are still dedicated transports, though, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
So you can still Razorback spam.
you can. Just don't overcharge the unless
Just
you're
don't
like
charge the twin
desperate.
plasma gun. Right.
In regards to poxwalkers and in regards to the poxwalker issue, apparently a couple rulings that they made was that basically you can bring your poxwalkers up to their starting number for free,
Right.
but once you go past the starting number,
Mhm,
you have to pay
reinforcements.
points.
Yeah. Right there.
So no more going from. I think one person was telling me they had 10 and ended up with like almost 50 poxwalkers by the end of the game.
Yeah. Right.
Jesus.
Right.
I'm sure it's balanced. It's balanced.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Esports ready.
I'm sure esports ready. I'm sure it's heavily play tested. Don't worry about it.
One of the other big things, or one of the other questions we always got, and in the paper I put down, it was actually answered in the Forge World and the Imperial Guard FAQ.
Yeah, I saw they put it in both, which is interesting.
And that was at the super heavy vehicles like the Shadow Sword, Baneblade, some of the Gorgon heavy transport, the Marcarius vehicles, the ones that say they can shoot even when in combat. They stated that I think it was the Flamers. What is it? The Heavy Flamers and I think the Bolters. The twin heavy bolters and the heavy flamers can shoot at units within one, and that everyone else can shoot. They have to shoot at another target, and they cannot fire Overwatch if in close combat.
Right. Which is the way we'd been ruling it anyways.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we didn't include the heavy flamer and the heavy bolter part of it, but we just said once they're in contact that they can't.
You can't Overwatch.
They can't fire. They can't Overwatch anymore.
Well, we are also saying you can't use their special rule to fire Overwatch. Yeah, that's what we've been saying the whole time. Never mind. I don't know what I was trying to.
Yeah, what people were arguing was that because it says they can still shoot normally, if they were in combat and someone else assaulted them, they were arguing that they could still fire Overwatch.
Right.
But we were saying no because of the way Overwatch is worded.
So Mr. Inquisitor is asking if soup is off the menu now.
Yeah,
So
what they did, what they did, if I remember, I don't even know if I downloaded it.
I have that up. I'll find it.
Yeah, what they did was in the big, what's called the big FAQ, which I have up right here on my screen. If you go down to FAQ really quick, what they did was they made official the beta rules that we previously had. More importantly, they actually changed at least the psychic focus one. Previously, it was for every attempt after the first, you subtract one to the roll.
Right.
Now it's add one instead, which is what people are normally doing. Like you were doing it, John, when we played yesterday.
Yeah.
So now you're doing it the right way. The big difference is that there's two differences now that they made. One is that since you add one now, so first it's on a 5, then on a 6, then on a 7. That also makes it harder to deny.
Right.
So the beta version was actually the better version for your opponent. This version makes it harder for both yourself and your opponent. In addition, they made Brotherhood and anybody that has the Brotherhood of Psychers or Brotherhood of Sorcerer rule are immune to the penalty.
Right.
So Grey Knight squads and Thousand Sun squads, not necessarily Magnus or Exalted Sorcerers or Arman, unless they have the Brotherhood of Sorcerer rule.
Tony's saying that the Ynnari soup is actually better, which if I remember right from reading in the different Eldar groups that he's right. So the Battle Brothers thing is what a lot of the people are asking about.
Yeah.
So it says that all the units in each attachment in your Battleforged army
so
must have at least one faction keyword.
Right. Yeah, we'll get to that really quick.
Okay.
Because the target, and they're better because they can still use the stratagems.
Yeah.
The targeting characters, I believe, is the same. I don't think that's changed. Doesn't look like it. Danny, do you know if it changed or not? It doesn't look like it.
I think the only thing they added to clarify was that where is it?
I think they changed the wounds.
No, the wounds is what it was. It's at least with the beta, the finished match play rules they now call it. This means that if any other enemy units other than characters with wounds less than 10 or closer, whether they are visible or not, then the character cannot be targeted.
Right.
I think they've just. I really don't think they made any changes to it.
Ray says that a character with 10 wounds blocks targeting. It's the last sentence.
Yeah, that's what they changed. Right. I knew those 10 wounds in there somewhere.
Okay.
Thanks, Ray. So we're going into that. We're going in the beta rules real quick. The new beta rules. The first one is the one that's already been mentioned in regards to tactical reserves. Basically, what it means is, if you're in deep strike. Oh, first thing is you split the army in half like normal, but now it includes power level.
Right.
So you have to have 50 power level at most, along with the number of units.
Right, and it doesn't say anything about points, guys, so you have to use the power level.
Which means people have to include power level on their...
right.
Or they can build the army in whatever program they normally use, and then build it in the new one that GW is making.
Correct.
Also, that might be an easy way to build it, and that way you can figure out what the half army is.
This came up elsewhere. Tactical reserves is replacing the rule, right?
It's replacing the reserves rule, I believe.
No, it's the reinforcements rule.
Right.
So those two terms are like synonymous in every other instance of the rules. Because what I see is some people arguing that their rule specifically states that it says something to do with reinforcements, and because tactical reserves, it says reserves, they're not the same thing. So they can still do turn one reinforcing because it's not reserves.
Right.
But that's just asinine. Like, it's literally replacing the reinforcements rules, so get over yourself. Come on, man.
I do love our New Zealand friend just pointed out that while trees can't be the warlord anymore, Tyranid spores can.
Spores can. Right.
Hey, my mucilid spore, man, he's the real hive mind.
Yeah.
He's the real deal. All it is a brain. And I believe in addition to so you go in the tactical reserves, more importantly, in match play, any unit that arrives on the first turn from the reserves has to arrive in their deployment zone.
Right. Yeah.
And I believe that includes. There's another question in the FAQ where it mentions that if you take them off the battlefield, if you use any power or stratagem or ability, that's the same as putting them in reserve.
Right.
So the question now is, are they affected by this tactical reserve rule where they have to, like, let's say I do Veil on turn one.
Yes.
Do I have to stay in my deployment zone?
Yes.
By Raw, I believe it's yes.
Yes.
Without
a further clarification from GW, you do, because there's other FAQs that state when a unit arrives using any of those types of things, they are considered to have been brought in using the reinforcements rule. So that was published in response to a couple things, including like heavy weapons, right? So like, if I deep strike in, does my heavy weapon count as moving? And the answer wasn't yes. The answer was treat that unit as if it's arriving from reinforcements.
Yeah,
well, it says reinforcements. And this is why all these people are arguing the reserves and reinforcements thing. Well, that says reinforcements, so it's different. This is reserves, which is different. So that's why they want to make that argument. That tactical reserve says one thing, but this particular instance of the rules is saying another one for reinforcements, and so now I can still do that because it's reinforcements, not tactical reserves.
Right.
I don't know why they couldn't just use the same terminology and save us a bunch of headaches, but whatever.
Because Games Workshop.
Right.
But like Tony's saying, things like forward operatives.
Correct. Yeah, Tony's correct.
What's the other one? The Raven Guard one.
Yes, Raven Guard.
The things that let you infiltrate up front.
Right.
Those are still usable.
Yes.
So my 30 Berserkers, Alpha Legion Berserkers, are still good to go.
Yes. The Necron Scythes can't have anybody get out turn 1 if they move up. Because the Necron Scythes...
from transponder beam or whatever.
Right, because the way it's worded, they're not coming in from a transport. So even if you move your Scythes up turn 1, they can't do it.
But that doesn't matter because they get you disembark at the start of the turn. Isn't it at the start of the turn, that beam or whatever?
Oh, yeah, you're right. It is the start of the turn.
Jesus,
yeah, so that
John.
doesn't matter.
Oh, my God.
So much for the greatest 40K judge.
Whatever.
We never said, whoa. No,
hey, and I never said that. That was somebody else that said that.
Not publicly.
Yeah, whatever. I never said it privately either. The interceptors, Grey Knight interceptors can't move up. You can't use Gate of Infinity.
Yeah, you can't.
I mean, you can, but you could have to do it inside your own deployment zone.
Yeah, it's basically not worth doing. You can't Veil of Darkness. You can't shunt.
Yeah.
On turn 1, or at least usefully.
Right.
So for right now, until we get further clarification, it looks like nobody. You can't. Basically, all those powers are useless.
Right. Ray is saying that you can deceive the flyer, get out, and move in charge, and I don't think you can.
You can't because you're using a power to move.
Right.
And that still counts.
Right.
Well,
see.
No, because deceive is, I think, before the battle begins.
Okay. Well, I have to look at the wording of that one specifically.
I think it's one of the ones that says before, after deployment, but before the first battle round.
Okay.
So that one, I'd have to look at that, at the wording on that type.
I have my codices here on the computer. Let me see real quick.
I'd go look, but I'd make a lot of noise taking the headset off and stuff.
No, I got it right here. I put it on the screen, the Necron Codex. Let's see here. Deceiver, where's Deceiver?
He's under Elites, I think.
I'm just looking for him on the C10 Shard Deceiver. Is it the Grand Illusion rule?
Yes.
At the beginning of the first battle round, but before the first turn begins, you can remove the C10 Shard of the Deceiver and or up to D3 other friendly Necron units from the battlefield and set them up again more than 12 inches from any wall. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that works.
That works.
Because it specifically says that anything that happens before the first round or before the first turn gets to do its thing. So Raven Guard and GSC don't get totally destroyed by this.
Cool.
Well, GSC is actually exempt from the tactical reserves.
Yeah.
Right.
Otherwise, they stop working.
Yeah.
Okay, Lord Draconis is asking about Upon Wings of Fire, Blood Angel Stratagem.
Is that the Wing of Fire one?
Yeah. That one.
That one I think they can... Is that? Oh, that's the one where they...
It says remove the unit from the battlefield and set it up at the end of that phase. So because it's occurring then, I think it still is affected by it.
You're boned.
You're still boned by tactical reserves, yes.
You hide until turn 2.
And listen, you guys are talking to a guy who's playing a Grey Knight army that's been deep striking everything turn 1.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I've been doing. That's why I built the list around. I built my list around Grey Knights deep striking turn 1, and the Grey Knight detachment basically holding, or the Astra Militarum detachment basically holding down home base. And now that whole thing is gone. So I'm going to play the rest of the league with it, but I'm probably not going to go forward with Grey Knights. Although I'm doing Necrons, so whatever. The Necrons are in the mail. I got the confirmation today that they were shipped today, so I'm happy.
All right, moving on. Someone asked about Battle Brothers. So,
yes.
So basically, in regards to Soup, for Battle Forward, the following keywords cannot be used: Chaos Imperium, Aldara, Yannari, or Tyranid.
Right. Unless it's Fortification Network. Then it's fine.
Yeah, all of these units in your battlefield must have at least one faction keyword in common. In addition, the keyword cannot be. Which is funny that they include Tyranids.
That's so you can't do Tyranids, GSC, Soup.
Right.
Sure, because that's the thing.
Mix high fleets.
Right, you can't mix the high fleets then, right?
Well, you couldn't anyway because.
Well, you won't get any of the benefits if you did.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so then what would be the point, Danny? Right? You're the NID player. I don't know.
The only point would there would be real no point other than just screwing around.
Right. Okay. So, but you could still, Danny, take like
Yeah,
Leviathan and like something else, and then a separate detachment of Gene
Yeah,
Stealer
it-
Cult. Is that what they're
it doesn't
saying?
Oh,
affect
yeah.
it.
But you can't actually put the Gene Stealer Cult into your Tyranid detachment.
Right, because
So, like-
you before that you could actually take like GSC Gene Stealers instead of why
Right.
you would, I don't know, but GSC Gene Stealers instead of actual High Fleet Gene Stealers. You can mix and match because they all share the Tyranid keyword.
Right.
But now you can't do that. If you want GSC, you have to take a separate detachment of GSC.
Right. Yeah. And, it's also interesting because now you can't have like Celestine leading a bunch of Imperial Guardsmen or whatever.
Yeah, right. Like if you want Imperial Guardsmen, you need to actually have an AG or an IG, HQ.
Yeah. Ray is saying Ynnari can have mixed craft rule because you can battle forge with Asuryani, to his understanding.
Sure.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I'm
But they
pretty
still
sure
don't
that's
get the
correct.
benefit. I don't think they still get the benefits, the craft world benefits.
Yeah, I don't
But
know.
but they become Ynnari, so what does it matter? You
I'm
just
not a
want the
filthy
one-
Eldar player like Ray, so I don't know.
You just I've played against them enough. You just want these small detachments for the stratagems.
Yeah, well, of course, especially now that you get Uber CPs for cheap battalions.
Yeah, so
Oh,
basically with the Uber CPs it actually benefits, like everyone's saying, it benefits Ynnari or Eldar.
Right.
So it really only affects Chaos and Imperial. It doesn't really affect Tyranids or Eldari or Ynnari.
Okay. All right. So
And
that's
then-
Oh,
fine.
it's
that's
just
something
all-
that was interesting. Speaking of that, real quick, is I think it's in the general rulebook FAQ is that it clarifies that you only need to unlock. You have a detachment to unlock a stratagem. Any stratagem can be used on any viable target, not necessarily just like
Yes.
only Blood Angels work with Blood Angels and blah blah blah.
Which one was
Yeah,
that? In? I
they-
didn't see that one.
They opened up the stratagem floodgates.
Why did they open Pandora's box? They had it closed so tight.
Because they like stratagems. They like people to use them. That's why they gave them more CPs.
You know what? This is dumb. I quit.
It's fine. You don't quit.
No one
Yeah.
ever quits.
Nobody quits. Nobody
Nobody
quits.
Nobody quits, and the first hit is free.
Everyone
Yeah.
fights. Nobody quits.
And then there's a bunch of errata for the Imperial stuff that don't have HQs basically, like Sisters of Silence, Assassins, things like that.
Yeah.
And basically what they do is they take a Vanguard detachment, and you're not required to take an HQ.
Right.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so here it is. It's page 4 of the general Warhammer 40k rulebook errata. Is it possible to use a stratagem from one codex to target a unit from another? Yes, so long as the unit the stratagem is being used on has the appropriate keywords. Note the stratagems in Chaos Demons and Tyranids are specific exceptions to this.
Oh, okay.
And it even names that you can use the Tide of Traitor stratagem from CSM on Cultists from Death Guard.
Right. Which you can only use once per game now.
Yes. The forward forward operatives?
No, Tide of Traitors.
Tide of Traitors.
Tide of
sorry.
Traitors.
Tide of Traitors, yes. Cool. Yeah, Tide of Traitors is only once. Sorry, guys.
Wow. Well, for me personally, I only used it once per game anyway. It just happened that way.
Right. All right, do you want to, let's see, go back to the binder thing you put together? So page 76, Revenant Discipline. You didn't do that one yet, right?
That one they just increased the warp charge, which I think Ray has always talked about, to warp charge 8.
Right.
Because I think before it was like 6.
It was too low. I don't know what it was exactly, but it was too low.
It was too low.
Right. Can the Auspex stratagem be used to shoot an enemy unit that has removed the battlefield?
This is the one Danny
Yes.
talked about.
Right. Oh, yeah. Yes.
Well, no, that's
But-
part.
Well, no. It's a two-parter, but Danny talked about one part. The other part is this one that you can shoot at a unit that basically, like if you Veil of Darkness, you can use the Auspex to shoot at them.
Right.
So that's always been it's always a question that's come up for us. That's why I included it. They actually gave clarified how the Sky Shield landing pad works,
Yeah, because, trolls.
so that you can be on top of it and all this other stuff.
Well, to be fair, there was no way of knowing that.
It's
Right,
true.
because
Besides common sense and not just being a jerk, there's no
Right.
way of knowing that.
I'm just saying, though, if we're playing raw.
Yeah, the
beforehand,
common sense does not apply.
Right. Yeah.
We already talked about the HQ tree, my warlord tree. There's no more stacking of feel no pain, basically.
Right. You're talking about the
So
ignoring wounds part?
Yeah, because it used to be you had discussing and resilient, and then your warlord might have the trait where you ignore wounds on a 6.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I would
you
do
can't.
that all the time.
Yeah. So no stacking of that. So the best.
Yeah.
So the best you can get is one basically feel no pain roll.
Ray says common sense, don't cuss at me. We know, Ray. We know. Let's see. Embark. Change the first sentence to read if all models
This
in
one
the unit
actually,
and their move within
I
3.
was kind of happy to see, and kind of odd that they didn't do this to begin with.
I think they just messed up and then didn't
realize it.
Well, they might have realized it but didn't bother to fix it. They're like, well, let's see how it works, and turns out they messed up, so they went back to it.
Yeah. So now you can. So once again, you can only embark and disembark in the movement phase.
Right.
So no more advancing, or not advancing. What was it? Consolidating next to a vehicle and embarking.
Right. So the battalion detachment CPs, that's a big one. Brigade detachment CPs
5
is
and
a big
12.
one. Yeah, 5 is awesome. I can't wait to play with that.
Yeah, that's going to be sweet.
I was already designing my Necron list to have double battalions. So I'm thinking I could probably do battalion and outrider now, fine, if I wanted to run destroyers or wraiths.
Yeah, I think I have battalion.
No, wait,
and
wraiths
spirit.
Are wraiths fast? Can wraiths be?
Wraiths are fast attack.
They are fast attack
Yeah.
now. Okay.
That's an outrider.
Yeah, so I could run a battalion outrider and still have like the
Yeah,
same
5,
number
6,
of points
9.
I would have had for my double battalions.
Yeah.
So that's good.
The next one was basically, can I kill models that I can't see if I can see one model from the unit initially?
Right, and the answer is yes.
Well, I think we've ruled it that way before.
We have. Yeah, we've been ruling it that way for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This one I thought was this one I thought was odd.
Wishful thinking. They did kind of fix the Poxwalker thing. So what they did was they made it so that you can recycle your Poxwalkers up to their beginning for free, but if you want to make them larger after that, you have to pay for those models.
You need the reinforcement points.
Right. You have to use the reinforcement points after that. So it's
I think they made it for blanket units in general. They didn't really specifically say Poxwalkers.
Yeah, they didn't specifically call that out, but they made it in general. That's the rule now, so it does apply to Poxwalkers.
And then what I found odd was
you talking about the next one?
If you use a stratagem to remove a model, do they get to keep the any persistent effects? And the answer is no.
Right. Well, because there's a couple that are worded oddly. This came up actually a couple of times. I think I talked about it once in one of our chats. That, well, it doesn't say that this is an effect. It's only when it's alive. So if it dies, does it stay in effect? And Raw was, yeah, it does. So.
Oh, that's right. Well, in this case, they're asking if let's say I use Veil of Darkness and the unit had like a +1 to toughness or something.
Right.
So if I Veil of Darkness, then I lose that bonus.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's I kind of find odd. And this is the one Danny talked about. The next one, if basically, and it was in regards to when a unit comes in from basically deep strike,
it can never move again. Essentially,
well, you can't move through a stratagem or
through
power or.
It can't move in them again, essentially for the turn unless it's charging. Yes. Right. So they cut down all the whatever.
So no warp time.
Yeah.
So no cultists, Zangor, warp talons. In my case, Contemptor. Warp timing forward.
Yeah, although honestly, like I've been seeing on the Tyranid groups that people have been freaking out about that one. You still easily get first turn charges with Swarmlord if you take Kraken Gene Stealers. Hell, Kraken Gene Stealers don't always need Swarmlord anyway. Right. Like,
does Swarmlord not have a specific Tyranid Brood faction, whatever they call them?
High Fleet? No, he can be any.
Wow. Okay, cool. Yeah. I didn't know that. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Well, I don't play Tyranids, but let's see.
So we have Danny.
Actually, the only 2 special character HQs we have are High Fleet neutral. You get to insert whatever High Fleet you want.
The other one's Old One Eye?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. When a unit that can fly declares a charge move against a unit that is on the upper levels of a ruin, do I need to include a vertical distance? So this is weird. We were making these rulings at LVO for a while about like this distance thing and like where you measure and what you measure to and all this stuff and what can you ignore and what can you not ignore. And so to a certain extent they kind of clarified this, but to another extent they didn't fully. So like you have to be within 12 inches to charge, period. If you're outside of that, you can't, right? And that's measured directly base to base.
Even if you have an ability that lets you charge more than 12, like a 3d6 jump pack or something.
Right, it still has to be, and you measure base to base. So, like, if I've got a base here and a base here, I'm measuring diagonally. If they're here, I'm measuring horizontally.
Right, so what you're telling me,
you're still measuring base to base.
If I put my model on its back,
no,
base is facing up.
Stop it. Stop right there. Don't even start that on here. I don't want to hear it. Okay? So if you're down, if you're like right above each other, right?
Right.
But you can see, so you can declare the charge and you're within 12. When you measure the distance to charge is 12, but you don't measure that distance if you have the fly word when you go to make the charge. You basically have an auto make of the charge because you're already technically within 1 inch.
Yeah.
Right.
And piggybacking on that, also making sure you have room to place the model.
Correct.
Because one of the rules is if there's no place to place the model, they do not make the charge.
Right. Yeah, Lord Draconis, you're right. You don't need line of sight for charging. You're correct. That was a mistake on my part.
Wow, you're on a roll today, number one judge.
Whatever.
Gotta make you wonder why you're so famous.
Well, he's the most well known, not the most knowledgeable.
I never claimed to be any of these things, so. And I have to say, I was watching myself gesticulate a minute ago, and I thought I looked a little bit too much like Alex Jones, so that's the thing. I need the tinfoil hat.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so we were talking about you have to be able to fit to charge now in the upper levels. But you guys, there's a reason why ITC has always said that all objectives have to be on the bottom floor.
Correct.
It's almost like they understood this from the beginning.
It's weird. It's weird that way.
It's weird that way.
Seems to happen a lot.
Right.
There's another question asking, when people have stratagem that go at the same time, like at the beginning of the first battle round, but before the first turn. It's just a roll-off. Just like
that was
before.
nice. We kind of had people doing that anyways.
We did that at LVO.
Yeah, that's the way we said at LVO you're going to have to do it, but it's nice to have it solidified in an FAQ from GW.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And then the last one I have on here was that they kind of clarify when the battle, quote unquote, begins.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's a big step for them.
Well, there's another step. There's another step where they actually give you the order of operations. I didn't put it on here, but there is a part of the FAQ that just talks about that.
Yeah, again, that's always something that is just such a huge step forward for GW to actually think about the game in terms of timing and sequencing. It's just something they've never really done or ever done that well.
Right. Axis of Entropy wants to know if flyers always ignore vertical distance for movement, not just charging.
Yeah, that's been discussed. I believe so.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's what we've said before.
We've always played it that it does.
Yeah.
Or even ruled it.
Yeah. So the clarification about the charging thing, so there was that issue with Reavers, right?
Yeah.
The Primaris Reavers where they get to ignore vertical distance, right? So that means that they can kind of act as if flying when assaulting up and down, correct? Is that the way that's basically going to be ruled now? I don't remember the wording of that. I've never used Reavers in my life, so I don't know.
I don't know anybody that does.
No, we only ran into it with the one person at LVO, remember?
Oh, okay.
It was just one.
Times.
Well, there's the one... No, was it the one guy several times?
Yeah, it was the one guy several times.
That sucks. Yeah. Okay.
Let me see. Going back to the interim balance review section. Let's see. Command point. Tide of Traders once.
Oh, we're not even going to start talking about the 0 to 3. Like that seems like.
Where is that? Is that above this?
I'm going through the page, Danny.
Oh, I'm just saying. One would think that.
You know what? You
just
gotta
go
build
to
up.
like
You
the
don't
biggest.
start with the big change. You gotta lead up to it. Build up suspense. Because they're like you.
What suspense? People are talking about it in chat already. We're behind the time.
That's called building suspense, Danny. That's why we break to a commercial right before we announce the winners.
I don't know. 0 to 3 just seems like such old news to me.
Well, yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. So I'm. Oh, okay.
It's like building with the old force organization chart.
It kind of is.
It is.
So,
that's pretty much what it is.
Everybody's like, "Oh man, 0 to 3," and I'm like, "So we're building like 4th and 5th edition?" Okay.
Yeah. So back to.
Except if you actually have an army that has 2 units that occupy the same FOC, you get to have 6 of all 6 instead of just 3.
Right.
Right. Well, that's really what it comes down to.
Right.
Well,
so
now it's
Ray is asking. Ray is asking.
Uh-huh.
So in our example of the ruin thing, right, the assaulting,
mm-hmm.
when you roll the charge, would you teleport the model to 1 inch base to base, or are they considered 1 inch while on the floor? They're not considered 1 inch while on the floor. They have to have room to fit. What they get to ignore is that distance up when they assault. So you take them and you place them within 1 inch on top, but they have to be able to fit. You're not ignoring it. You're ignoring the actual physical distance because they have the fly roll.
Right. You still have to fit the model. If you can't fit the model on the ruin, then they count as having failed the charge. So that brings into question the wobbly model syndrome.
Yeah,
JP,
I'm
the
actually,
guy who runs Comp 40K is here.
I really love the kick in the balls to wobbly model because I hate wobbly model syndrome so much.
Yeah, me too.
It's just really nice of like, no, can you physically fit there? No, can't go there. Sorry.
Yeah. I do like that. Well, that came up a couple of times, remember?
It did.
At LVO, it did come up a couple of times, and every time resolving it was like a minor headache.
Yeah.
It was, that was not that great. Lord Draconis is saying the rule seems to make ruins too strong.
Well, it also becomes an issue of almost like a players agreement, because a lot of times before this ruling, you would just say, even if there are models there, you just say, well, they're just going to be in combat, right? And your opponent would usually say, okay, and then you just move into the fight phase. But now your opponent can just say, well, no, because they can't fit exactly. So it's like
Ray wants to know if he can lean his model onto his opponent's model so it doesn't wobble.
If the opponent gives permission, I don't see why not.
If your opponent gives permission, Ray, then fine. JP was just talking about how Comp 40K has been a shit show today.
Trust me, I've been there. Like I'm saying, there's a bunch of posts that, oh my god, this was great.
All right, do we want to continue? We already did the ignore wounds thing.
Well, the 0-3, in regards to the 0-3.
Where is that on here? I don't see it.
It's at the bottom. It's where it says organized events. So you just, what they're doing is just adding another column that says, where is it at?
Oh, number of times each data sheet. I see it.
And that's important because...
see, I looked at a table and I was like, it's a chart, and I hate charts, so I just went right past it.
number of each data sheet. Because especially some of the Tau players are asking about the drones that are included on certain data sheets, or they may refer to a data sheet. So it says you can get to have this. You can take drones from this data sheet. So because you're taking from another data sheet, does that count to the 0-3?
That's a good question.
Does it hurt Tau? Then yes.
I'm for it.
Wow. Okay, Tau Illuminati member.
You're not supposed to just say that.
Don't talk about Tau Fight Club.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's see. Draconis, I hated a lot about 7th edition. The non-interactive stuff wasn't one of the things that I really hated that much. He's still talking about the ruins thing. Like, didn't we hate non-interactive things? And
I just hated things living.
That was the more annoying part of 7th edition, was just, it wasn't necessarily pure non-interaction, it was just you had units that were mathematically improbable to ever kill over the course of 6 turns.
It was the futility of rolling dice. And
see, I guess I don't view that as non-interaction. I view that as like, futility of the game.
Yeah, you're interacting. Your interactions just don't matter.
The interactions don't matter. I'm rolling dice that don't matter, right?
Much like life. A lot of your interactions don't matter.
Day to
All
day
right, French nihilist. Jesus, Adam.
You're just figuring that out now?
Oh,
You need to be
excellent.
on more, Danny.
Seriously. Oh.
But the 0-3, because it's detachment, that might affect some armies because some armies have a lot of variety in their data slate. So,
Right.
so I mean, like, look at shouldn't say the Lehman Russ tank because you can fit like 9 Lehman Russes in three data slates.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, JP, the chat has been talking quite a bit about how Eldar won the FAQ game. They definitely came out on top.
They still win no matter what.
Yeah.
That's why I hate Eldar in every game system.
No matter the game
always
system.
just win. That's what they
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
Is that still true in Age of Sigmar? Because I don't play Age of Sigmar.
I don't know because they just barely got their books now.
Right.
But didn't? Oh yeah, I guess they just had the most recent ones, huh?
Yeah,
I just don't follow. I
Daughters
don't
of Cain.
follow Age of Sigmar.
last month, and then this month is Idoneth
Deepkin.
again.
Yeah.
And then who knows what's next?
The flying turtle.
Flying turtle.
Which I kind of want to get just because that's a pretty awesome model.
I'm not gonna lie. I kind of want to get it and then put it in my aquarium.
Yeah.
That's what I see when I see that.
Oh no, I also like the dude holding the scroll with the squid hanging out with him just because of the meme of I see you're writing a scroll. Would you like help with that?
I don't like any of those.
I actually like that one. That's probably one of the few ones I do like. I mean, I like the model
Like
range
the
in
whole
general,
idea
but
that they bring like this broken ship with them. It's like, what the?
why not?
Because
Well, the
dumb.
fluff is that whenever they appear on the battlefield, they magically bring water with them, quite literally.
Okay, we're done talking about Age of Sigmar.
I just had to piss you off a little bit, John. I'm sorry.
Thank you. I'll go to bed angry. It's perfect. So
point
let's talk
adjustments.
about a couple of the point adjustments. I don't think
Yeah.
the increase to Gilliman was necessary anymore. Like, I feel
I
like
don't know,
his
I could
day
kinda see
had
it
been
with
behind him,
Razorback spam.
so I don't
I'm
see
okay with that.
why. But there's
I
no
don't
real
need-
reason
I-
for it. Like, you
I
see
don't
some of
need
the
a,
other
I
stuff.
don't need a reason.
See,
I think I
this
don't know.
is just you're having Abaddon coming out because Abaddon is trash compared to Gilliman. You don't like it.
Just about everybody's trash compared to Gilliman.
That's true. Although I think partially it makes sense because gun lines are going to get a bit stronger because there are less kind of auto first turn charges, and Razorbacks are still good gun platforms, and you can spam them because they are dedicated transports. So the Gilliman gun line gets a little bit of new life in this kind of brave new meta.
Yeah,
So
I've been considering dusting
could
that
see
list
that.
off.
I mean, that seems a little forward thinking and meta aware of them, but it could happen. Shit, I don't know.
Yeah, I think that with the first turn charge basically impossible for the vast majority of things. The gun line is going to be the thing again, like first turn shooting. So does that mean that we're going to see the what are they called? They're not the basilisks. What are those things called again?
Magic. What I was using?
No, they're basically the Earthshaker cannons.
The Earthshakers.
Are we going to see
Oh, yeah.
Earthshakers coming back? Because
Well,
now all of a sudden that Alpha
I
Strike
don't
shooting
mind
is good
that,
again.
except for the fact that people don't actually have the batteries, and
Yeah.
we'll see the resurgence of the toys.
Yeah, right.
And I'm gonna bring a hammer. You've been warned.
Just to break the models. Well, they're only like what $3 toys anyway. So
Yeah, they can all buy another one. I can break that one too. Be like whack-a-mole. I may just go out and
Whack-a-mole.
preempt break them all.
You should just get one of the giant foam hammers from the Whack-A-Mole to hit people's models with. Blam, 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 blam.
So more point adjustments. Commissar, Lord Commissar, who cares? Slime
Bivors
Arbo, okay, I guess.
Sure, whatever.
got more expensive. They're now 50 a pop rather than 38.
That's actually that's a bit amount.
Yeah, I think
What about the Hive Tyrants with wings at 190?
Like, you can only
Yeah,
take
that's
3 now,
without-
so what does it matter?
Oh, true. You can afford the.
that doesn't include that doesn't include wings though.
It does
It
not.
does
No,
not
yeah,
include
it's Hive
more
Tyrants
gear.
with wings,
Oh,
But
okay, yeah. So,
but it doesn't include
that's fine.
weapons.
Yeah.
I think we all saw that coming. That's not that big of a hit overall. I mean, yeah, because you're also limited to 3 now. So,
Right.
it still needs it. Because, I mean, they're really resilient for what they are. So I think that's fine. It's probably a needed points adjustment.
Yeah, everybody saw the
Bioboards,
Fire Raptor gunship going up, right?
Well, yeah.
I know Darian was hoping because he was getting ready to order 3 of them.
Right.
Well, that's why you wait.
Yeah, unfortunately. The Gnarl Tree is now 85 instead of, I think it was 50 before. But most people only took 1 anyway.
Yeah, to be your warlord.
Someone did do that to me at the at the tournament one time.
The 9 Forge World Hellhound list is still viable.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
That's what they're talking about in chat. I just wanted to bring that up vocally in case
because you buy them in squadrons.
People aren't watching the chat. You buy them in squadrons of 3 because Forge World doesn't know how to write rules.
Well, that's
that's the regular Imperial Guard. That's not Forge World.
Yeah, don't make Imperial Guard less shiny, man. They got to have something.
No,
now that they've lost their space as CP generators for Imperium.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? I should take that kind of back because Forge World in general doesn't have very much this like super OP anymore.
Not with
the nerf bat has hit them hard.
Yes.
I'm trying
Remember
to
the days of Malefic Lords?
Oh my god.
That was literally only like 4 months ago.
I know.
5 months ago.
Hey man, the new GW changes the meta every 3 months, it looks like. Tony wants to know if you can interact with the stupid tree at all.
No. Unless you're Nurgle.
Right. Dark Talon went up 40, should have been 20 Axis. Yeah, I agree. I didn't have a problem with the Dark Talon the way it was point costed personally.
Oh yeah, because they increased the point cost. Yeah, you know what? But in our area, we never saw a lot of it.
That's true.
You know, when you see 7 or 8 of them at a tournament.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, yeah, we don't really. Yeah, we didn't really see them around here, so I guess that makes sense.
So, Deathcore Creed, nobody cares. Craft World, Eldar. There we go. Look at that. Dark Reapers. 12 points. They're still 3 to 10 though.
Yeah.
So who cares?
Yeah. Eldar don't really care about this FAQ that much, I feel like.
Well, the only thing I've heard is the Farseer, because Farseers are fucking like 110 points now. And then the Conclave is more expensive too. It's almost 50 points a model.
Oh wow.
Yeah, even a warlock by himself is 55.
But I don't feel like Warlock Conclave was doing much.
Well, even then, the warlocks are 55 now. They weren't that expensive.
Right, but do we see many Warlock Conclaves running around?
Not the Conclave, but just warlocks by themselves.
Right, yeah.
Because the Conclave, you get a discount though. Warlock by himself, you pay 10 extra points.
Right.
Because you got to buy in bulk, John. You should know that.
I'm not a Costco member.
My mom has been, well, she raised 3 boys, so
right, she had to be.
that actually played sports and know what a hitbox, the difference between a hitbox and a strike zone is.
Whatever. I only used the terminology that was used first. Okay, get off my ass.
You're just polite, that's all.
I'm exceedingly polite, Adam. You should know this because I've never punched you in the face.
Not publicly.
Not publicly.
Not on camera.
Yeah, I would never.
And
do
there's
it
a
on
reason
camera.
why I'm over here.
I don't want to document it.
You banned me after Thursday.
I did talk about banning you on Thursday. That's funny. I forgot about that.
So anything else stick out to you, or any questions come up because of it?
We've been covering the ones in the chat as it goes. Anybody in the chat have something specific they wanted to ask about or talk about? I don't have anything specific. We covered all my specific ones. Like for me, the big one is the deep strike thing.
There was nothing in the Necron Codex that really stuck out to me.
Right.
It's errata, and it's all basically the shards can even use their powers in close combat. So
that's
even
cool.
if you're in close, so I need to buy like 5 more shards.
Yeah, there was no limitations on the Tesseract vaults. We can still
there's
take
none,
3.
but there probably will be after people show up with 3 of them.
Yeah, probably.
I know. I know. I'm getting 1 for sure.
Right.
I think I only
So the meta is
transport
changed now,
one.
right? Or LVO top 6 being Eldar? I don't know. Like LVO is so far away. By the time
Oh
the
yeah.
next LVO comes
Plus,
around,
we still have
all of the codexes
we still
will be
have
out.
the September FAQ, and
Yeah.
then we still have chapter approved before LVO.
Yeah. I'm hoping that LVO is won by Space Wolves. Danny?
Sure. I agree with Danny's first reaction.
It hurts that Space Marines are not so good right now. Like
they're like mid tier at this point.
yeah, they're Blood Angels, Dark Angels. It doesn't matter. Like they're all just kind of languishing
mid
in the
to
middle.
upper, depending on the build. And
Well,
the
Lord
player,
Draconis,
obviously.
yes. I was assuming Lehman Russ would be out if they release a Space Wolves Codex. So I want to see that. I want to see a Space Wolf list with Lehman Russ win the Las Vegas Open. I know it won't happen, but I would love to see that. Just because I love Space Wolves.
Well, you did run Blackbane's company.
I did. I loved Blackmane's company. That was fun. Tony, no pink horrors cannot summon. Do you think close combat is hurt by this FAQ in general? Yeah.
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 Getting
I think
into
that
close
in
combat.
general, that's not the direction they want this game to be. I just don't. I think that they want the game to be shooting oriented, and that's what they're doing.
I think, you know what? I want them to bring back the terrain recommendations in terms of how much terrain to use.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that's a big part of it too. And it's something they really haven't addressed. Just in terms of the size, type, how many, it used to be, have X amount of terrain, about a quarter of the table. It used to be, do you remember when it used to be where you roll a die and you roll a D3 and that's how much terrain in each quarter.
In each quarter, yeah.
Each section.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something.
Yes, Ray, Russ would be okay with the Wolfen. I'm hoping that if they bring Russ
Oh
back,
my God.
he will be
He'll be
partially
Wolfen.
Wolfen. Yes.
Yeah,
that would be
they're
awesome.
going to do that.
That would be great. I mean, he's been in the Eye of Terror this whole time, right?
Tony, play AOS if you want combat.
Seriously, right? Yeah, we're haters for sure. Tony, we're totally haters.
See, Rhino Rush might be
Hate
more
everybody.
viable now.
Yeah, I think but the Rhinos are expensive.
75 points.
I wish Rhinos were still 35 points.
Oh, God.
Wow. Then I would run them. Rhino Rush Assault viable. Yeah, I mean, I guess to a certain extent.
Well, if
Especially
you get
with
first,
those drilling rhinos from Forge World now.
dude, I gotta order like 2 or
Right.
3 of those.
Yes, your current GT army, if it's Custodes and Guard, did get better. Yes. JP says Dark Eldar wins the most. I think that Dark Eldar is good. I think that they are underestimated by a lot of people right now.
Yeah, I can't tell. I looked at their FAQ and it doesn't really. It's more clarifications.
Yeah, there wasn't much.
There wasn't a lot. Oh, they did clarify about. Hey guys, the 3 detachment, 6 detachment, or 4 detachment, 6 detachment thing is mainly for narrative.
Right. Well, and now that battalions give you 5 CPs instead of 3, why would you ever want the other one? Right?
Well,
Mhm.
John, it's because come on, 3 detachments, 6 detachments, John,
Yeah.
6 all
Okay.
patrol.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah,
one
Tony,
HQ,
I wish
one
Rhinos
troop.
were still free too. I wish drop pods were still free via my black mains.
I do too, because I own like 6 drop pods,
Yes.
6 or 8.
I saw the writing on the wall and sold that 12 drop pod army.
I kept mine and
sold
and
it
now
back
need
in
to-
7th for a lot of money.
I kept mine and now need to convince GW to count doors.
Yes. TFG cleared up the unlimited CP and unlimited stat for the succubus. Yes, they did. Yes.
Oh, that was the one you keep on paying the CP to get
Yes.
the.
Right. Right. Yeah, all troops won. That's true. Yes. Anybody who's got a solid troop choice did get a boost. The problem is, in my opinion, at least the most versatile troop choice in the game is the Grey Knight Strike Squad, and it's shackled to that terrible codex, which got hidden with the bat with the tactical reserves rule. So
I think Tyranids win with the troops thing because we have Ripper Swarms for super, super cheap troops to get lots of CPs. We have Gene
Yes.
Stealers, which are still an amazing close
What- I
combat
mean-
unit, especially when you're bringing 60 of them.
yeah,
Termagants are still really good chaff.
Mhm.
Hormagaunts are great at just tying things up. And I mean, yeah, I think any codex that has like a really solid troop choice or two is definitely comes out ahead.
Or a super cheap one. I mean, guard, you can get two battalions for 600 and something points.
Yeah.
And that gives you 10 CPs. That's all the CPs you're going to need.
Yeah.
Like whatever else you're going to add on top of that is just like gravy. Dark Eldar troops and transports, yes. Those will definitely went up in stock too. Yeah, Dark Eldar troops are really good, Tony. Absolutely. They're excellent.
Yeah, I don't
Does Swarmlord count as a tyrant? I don't think he does, right? Because it's a separate data sheet.
He's a Swarmlord.
Yeah, it's a separate data sheet.
Yeah, he's a separate data sheet. He does have the Hive Tyrant keyword, but it's not about keywords. It's about data sheet.
Yeah, so you can only take basically the three same data sheet. That's why I was saying earlier that some data sheets have so many options that it's almost like you have a different unit.
Right.
Fucking Alan. He wants to know how come at LVO none of you were the head judge and now you all are. It doesn't even make sense. We constantly referred to everybody as the head judge. We're all head judges.
We're all head judges.
Right. We all share the judging responsibilities. Except for Matt. Matt's an underling.
He hasn't been promoted yet.
We haven't promoted him yet. Maybe next year. He's going to show up to play this year. He's doing so well. He's not going to want to.
Well, we'll see. It's early in the year.
So Tau got screwed again. No. Tau's fine.
By how? By who?
Tau's fine. I mean, I just don't want to talk about them anymore. But they're fine.
Tau get the benefit of, without so many first turn charges, you don't absolutely need to rely on good cheap chaff.
Yeah,
which they don't have well. And if there's ruins, they can just hide up there and shoot.
Yeah, I think Tau got much better because of the nerf to that first turn drop in. Like that was the only thing I had for Tau.
Right.
Playing the list that I was playing, I was dropping in on them turn one again, getting to go after them. But that was it. There was nothing else for me to do.
Yeah, the only thing that could save you from that is basically going first, because then you only suffer one turn of shooting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, 2 turns if you get the for the greater good.
So Tau still restricted to their 3 commanders since they have different data sheet commanders.
That's a special Tau rule.
Yeah,
that's a Tau specific rule.
It's a very specific Tau rule, and so it still applies. Yes. Who are the FAQ winners and losers? I would say winners, troops choices, because of the battalions.
Anybody that doesn't rely on assault.
Any army that doesn't rely on assault, any army that's got really good shooting, and the biggest losers are first turn assaults, first turn charges, first turn dropping in period.
So Blood Angels,
Grey Knights.
Yeah.
That rely
Alpha Legion.
Well, no, because they still can use the forward operatives.
Right, but
yeah, they still get forward operatives.
It's tied to traders. It's got limited.
Yeah, that's
the one. I keep getting them mixed up.
So you can't currently the way we read it is you can't use tie to traders on your first turn because you're just going to go back into your deployment zone.
Right.
The only reason
traders into my deployment zone. Perfect.
The only reason you would use it, and I've done this before, is if you lose most of your squad. Like let's have a 40-man squad, and I get shot to shit, and I only have 2 guys left. So I'm going to burn the command point to save them, and then I'm going to burn the other 2 to recycle them. Even though I come in my deployment zone, I still get 38 guys back.
Yeah.
The problem is I have to stay in my deployment zone, and I already used it for my game, basically.
Yeah. I would say the other loser was like the highly abusive stuff. Like anything that was
that's
highly abusive,
that's
like
more or less
walkers.
There's a whole reason for it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
almost any spam.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Eldar is a pretty big winner. Dark Eldar is a pretty big winner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tau's a pretty big winner because shooting armies got good. Alpha Strike shooting got better. They got a lot of Alpha Strike shooting. Astra Militarum stock went up. I don't think that the crazy artillery list will be winning again because there's one of the Eldar. I don't remember which one has. It's really difficult for those artillery lists to beat. It's the one.
The Altok.
It's the Altok, right? Because they're harder to hit. Yes. They're -2 or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're -1, but it's everything. It's not. See the Alpha Legion and the Raven Guard one, and I think the Stygius for Mechanicum or Mechanicus are -1 to hit, but only infantry, bikes, and dreadnoughts.
Right.
The Eldar one is everything. So it includes flyers, includes the
Yes.
tanks.
Everything, yeah. Yeah, Ray confirmed it's Altok that we're thinking of.
Yeah.
How about Necrons now? Fuma Oyaben? That's interesting.
Necrons are better only because it'd be harder to assault them.
Yes, and they also didn't get hit with any of the big nerf bats. Like, yes,
No.
there's some first turn charge things that you might not be able to do anymore because of tactical reserves, but on the whole, Necrons, their specific FAQ didn't do much, so they're fine.
No, it wasn't
They're
a
good.
lot of stuff.
Yeah. -2 to flyers, -2 to wave serpents for Eltok. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't see. I mean, I see IG artillery coming back. I don't see it coming back to the extent to which Brandon Grant's smashing everybody with it, like at the beginning of 7th or beginning
Yeah,
of
it's
8th.
gonna struggle against Eldar.
Yeah.
But then so does everybody else. So
Yeah, I think everything struggles against Eldar. Well, Tau's difficult for me. I've always had a hard time with Tau just because I never know what any of those stupid models are that I'm looking at.
well,
So I'm always like, what is that? Is that a ghost kill? What is this? No, that's a Yavara. Oh, crap. Okay, I was shooting the wrong thing. Because they all look the same. All those stupid robots. Those suits or whatever they are. Tau loathe -1, -2 hit. Yes. Yes, Ray, I'm very salty about Tau. That's fine. Don't worry about it. Forge World Riptide. What beats Eldar now? I mean, things beat Eldar. I just think that they're really, really strong.
I think as a whole, they're obviously they're probably top tier. What beats them now? I guess it's probably a combo of like guard, marine.
Mm-hmm.
Depends what it is. It's kind of hard to say now with the new rules. We can't really tell. I can't.
Yeah. I mean, the inability to drop in and get close and really put the hammer on them right away, it definitely hurts a lot of armies.
It would have to be another drop army, but it'd have to be a drop shooty army.
Yeah.
And at most, you can have 9 obliterators with chaos. So you
Because
could
if you're
maybe
thinking
go with
about
chaos.
an ITC event, so an event that's run like Frontline would run their events, right, with those types of tables,
Yeah.
Eldar can hide really well on those types of tabletops, given the ITC rules for line of sight blocking on the ground. So if you get the first turn and you're shooting gunline, let's say Gilliman gunline makes a comeback, right? So you got a Gilliman gunline and an Astra Militarum mixed. You're going to be shooting with your Astra Militarum like mortars and stuff, but it's going to be hard to hit them if it's Altok. And then once they move out, they're going to be in your face shooting you, and if they're smart, which I'm sure the Eldar player will be, they're wiping out all of your Marines so that by the time it's your turn 2 to shoot, your Alpha Strike shooting is gone because of the way the cover works. Like if you're playing an Adepticon where it's playing a bowling ball, I don't think Eldar does very well.
Yeah,
Right,
I think only 2 people took Eldar to Adepticon.
Yes.
Or at least placed high with Adepticon, and those were top tier players. So
Right. Alan says you take Dark Reapers away and there would still be top tier. Yeah. If you took Dark Reapers out of the Codex, Eldar would still be really good. Period.
yeah, I don't think much has changed since 7th edition. Like I always maintain, Eldar are always good in every edition. You can argue that there was one edition where they're not, and even then they were still pretty good.
They were not very good in 5th, but there were still players who could win with them in 5th.
Exactly.
But they were not good in 5th because throughout the entirety of 5th, they played with the 4th edition Codex.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, you didn't play 5th, so you don't know what you're talking about.
I played in the early 5th.
Take your ball and go home. You didn't play 5th. Tony says they struggle to get all the good things at once with decent CP. Tony, you're talking about Eldar again, I assume? I think this is what he's talking about. What army prevents an Eldar player from winning the next GT? I think Custodes are pretty good. And Custodes didn't rely on the turn 1 charge, correct?
I think they could detract the bikes, but they're more shooty than assaulty.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like Nids are good. Nids are good too. I think like Nids are very underestimated for a lot of I think a lot of people are still stuck in the it's fly rinse or nothing mode that's been there since 6th edition.
NIDS don't like the negative penalty to shooting, but NIDS have a lot of fast assault elements that can get there even without assault out of deep strike. Right. So and NIDS also have Chronos for shutting down any psychic powers.
Yes, and you can easily take 3 detachments from 3 separate hive fleets.
Oh yeah, easily. I mean, NIDS are so cheap with our kind of mandatory troop and even some of our HQ choices that you could do 3 battalions and have 18 CP and just have a Chronos battalion and a Chronos battalion, then a Kraken battalion for assault, and then one other battalion you want.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean, you could do.
Ray says NIDS stop Eldar. I would trust Ray.
They do. Yeah, no, they do. NIDS are really good at taking out Eldar.
Lord Draconis is talking about ×3 battalions with NIDS, which I know that you've built before. And you were building that with only 3 CP, and now it's 5 CP each. 15 CP with NIDS sounds a little bit scary.
I think you need more CPs.
Right.
I think the next big... no, go ahead.
I was going to say NIDS can burn through CPs fast. Besides rerolls and things like that, they have a lot of really useful stratagems that just come up all the time. Not just like double shoot, but getting characters to reroll wounds and acid blood for if anything's starting to eat through your chaff, and even just and then tons of rerolls just because you never it's never bad to be able to basically reroll a dice almost every phase of the game.
Yeah, right. Tony's saying Dark Angels beat Eldar, and
that's what I was going to ask, if Dark Angels count as a...
They can, because they still can stack the negative. It's not like Eldar the negative penalty to shoot either.
I think the Dark Angels play as a spoiler to Eldar. I don't think that the
Dark Angels or Dark Eldar?
Dark Angels.
Dark Angels.
Okay.
I think that's what Tony said. He said Angels, right? Yeah, he
said Dark Eldar.
No, he said Dark Angels.
Okay.
So I think that Dark Angels are a spoiler to Eldar, but I don't think that they have the ability to then go on and win the event.
If they don't see them first round,
yeah,
or early rounds, and it's
because the question was what army keeps Eldar from winning the next GT. And
so you're looking for a spoiler.
Yeah, I don't think Dark Angels keep that person from winning because they're not going to see him at the top table.
Well, they'd have to pull him first or second round.
Yeah, but then every Eldar player would have to pull them first or second round. What are the chances that every Eldar player runs into a Dark Eldar or a NID or...
They probably have a better chance of running into another Eldar player.
Right, which doesn't spoil it for the other Eldar player because that Eldar player wins, right?
Well, it cuts it in half at least. Right. The next big event, I think, is Broadside.
Which is not going to use any of this stuff.
So it doesn't matter.
Right. Well, Broadside doesn't matter anyways.
It matters to me only because I got a better painting score than Travis.
Yeah. Alan, yes, they did nerf Poxwalkers in a way. We covered it a little bit earlier, but yeah.
Well, he's just waking up, so.
I know. Why? Are you talking about Broadside Bash not mattering? Lord Draconis, I don't really like Broadside Bash because they always do weird things. And I don't like weird.
Well, this year they're actually I think they're actually following the ITC missions.
Right, but then they're not going to use any of this stuff.
Well, but they were going to not allow soup before this anyway.
Right.
The only thing they're not doing is because it's less. Okay. Part of the issue, they're a bit old school in their mindset, so they're probably using the 30-day rule, which is probably why they're not using it.
I agree, Ray. Ray says Broadside Bash is a joke.
If you want to go back to 3rd and 4th edition and live those glory days, it's a place to go.
Yes.
Axis
says the next GT is London GT.
That's in May.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah.
That's in the middle. That's the one Alan's going to.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. Alan is going there, huh?
Yeah.
Cool.
It's in the middle of May.
So you got London GT.
That's going to be the real
Broadside Bash.
No, we're not counting Broadside Bash.
Then after that, there's Boise Cup.
Boise Cup's at the end of June.
Is Boise Cup going to be a GT? Was it last year? Did it make the...
No, it was the GT last year.
And then there's going to be that GT in Vegas.
Yeah. And then BAO.
Yes.
Very open, right?
Then BAO in July.
I still want to try to make the one in Vegas. I'm still trying to make that work. I'm definitely going to Bay Area Open.
Okay.
Tony, who say no to the FAQ? Broadside Bash? Yes.
Yeah.
Broadside
the one in
Bash said
San
they're
Diego.
not using it, yes. August is Capital City Bloodbath. I don't know what that is, Draconis. but
That's
it
in
sounds cool.
Canada.
Oh, Canada? Cool. Okay. ATC's in July. That's correct.
Yes, that's the week before, I think,
Bay Area
the
Open, right.
BAO.
Do we have a team going from our team? Can't remember.
I think Carlos is trying to get a team going. He needs 2 more players.
Oh, that's right. Because a bunch of us are going to Bay Area Open, so we're not going to that one.
Right. Flying Monkey GT's in June.
Tony, I don't know a Julio. I don't know who you're talking about.
You're just saying that for legal purposes.
I was saying that for all
Yes.
kinds of purposes. Bug Eater GT in Nebraska. When's that one, Tony? I've heard of that one. I just don't know when it is.
Yeah, I've heard of that one too. That one's been going on for a while.
Yeah, that's
What about War Games Con?
War Games
That's in
Con.
August.
That's in August, yes.
Oh,
I
yeah.
considered going to that one again too this year, but my August is filled up. I don't even think I'll make the Hammer of Wrath GT here in Pasadena. I think I'm
And you only
gone.
live like 2 blocks away.
Yeah, but I'll be in Yosemite, so I'll be a lot further than 2 blocks away. Is the problem.
That's not an excuse.
Yosemite's awesome. I don't mind going to Yosemite. I love Yosemite. I'll go to Yosemite.
Flying Monkey GT is also the same weekend as Boise Cup.
Where's Flying Monkey?
That's in Kansas. That's why it's called Flying Monkey. Get it, Kansas?
Uh,
Yeah.
Get it?
That's
Get it?
cute.
The Midwest Conquest is in Memorial Day weekend.
What did you do? Look this up or something?
I just know these. I listen to a lot of podcasts, remember?
Yes, I know.
And a lot of podcasts put on events.
Next FAQ before or after Nova?
It is
It's
after.
After, yes, but it's before SoCal.
Yes, because the next FAQ is in September, and Nova is the Labor Day weekend.
Bug Eater is June 1st to 3rd, Tony said.
Okay.
Yes, Alan, the well-advertised Hammer of Wrath GT. Yes. How did I get the salty nickname?
Have you ever heard yourself?
Yes, I've heard myself.
No,
This
you
comes-
haven't.
I have.
No, you no. You heard yourself with your
Rose-colored glasses on?
yes. Let's put it that way.
Alan is way more saltier than I am.
Alan is also old. So yeah, that's
Wow, okay.
Also true.
Axis of Entropy says he agrees that L-Talk will be top table London GT. I can see that.
I could see that. Yeah. It seems like the safe bet.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be the Vegas line.
Ray says, yeah, the tickets go on sale the week before Hammer of Wrath now.
oh for Hammer, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Build anticipation. That's what we got.
Actually, Ray, Adam and I just saw Travis yesterday when we were playing a game at the store. So that's where he is. He was at the store. He's hanging out. He's still working.
He's
Alan,
still alive. It was a wellness check.
It was a wellness check. Alan says to get off his lawn, Adam.
His rock lawn, his dirt lawn.
Okay, I guess he's not so much salty as he is a curmudgeon.
It's curmudgeon, yeah. There's a difference.
Oh man.
Curmudgeon goes with age. Anything else? Was there anything else that stuck out?
No.
I don't think there's anything in Space Marine. Nothing stuck out there. No. It's funny because there's no update for Custodes, Dark Angels, or Blood Angels, or
Right.
the Grey Knights.
Hey, because they're fine. Yeah, the Grey Knight. Well, the Grey Knight's got some cool stuff, but the tactical reserves just killed him.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
great that stuff went down in points. Like Tony just said, it's because Grey Knights get the FAQ of their dreams, and you switch to Necrons in reference to me becoming salty or being salty. But I don't think that's true. I don't like. Yes, the Grey Knight FAQ would be amazing if tactical reserves wasn't a thing.
I think
Because point drops and all this kind of stuff would be great, and then the smite going back to being to not having the smite beta rules apply to them would be
Yeah.
awesome too, but not if I can't drop in and do what I need to do turn one, because that's what I don't know. At least that's the way I built my Grey Knight army, and I don't really see another viable way to play them.
I think that's how most people play them.
Maybe I just need to take a look at them and look at the matrix, but my Necron army's in the mail, so whatever. I'll let Carlos figure it out, and I'll go back to them after Carlos figures it out.
Oh, that's right. Carlos is said he'd play them. Why don't you sell Carlos your models? I don't know if Carlos has any models.
Oh, he's just been theory hammering this thing the whole time?
I think so, because he's been working so much.
Huh. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. I'll have to hit him up later and see.
So how much
Land
do you
Raiders
think?
for GK.
Land Raiders. Oh my god. Yeah, you're gonna have to use Land Raiders now. Get on that.
No.
You sure?
I had
As
a
far as
really
I-
cool.
as far
I had
as
a
I
really
can
cool
tell.
Land Raider with a Demon Prince breaking out of it and everything. And that thing just died every 5 seconds.
Yeah, I don't think there was many changes to my Chaos list or my Imperial Guard list. So those lists haven't changed. That my ideas for Necrons haven't changed.
That's true. Yeah.
So it's like, at least you've been saying since the edition started, basically, just don't. If you're spamming something, just prepare for it to be dealt with.
Right. I guess I just didn't include like my army, half my army dropping in as like spamming something.
But it's not. I'm just saying in terms of yeah, it's not. That's the thing. I don't know why.
Right.
I don't know why they felt this change was necessary.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I thought that
I've been
was
seeing a
weird.
lot of people who are purportedly playtesters talking about how it generally is just good for the game, and because now you don't have to have screens, and people who couldn't figure out how to screen, or people who are new aren't being annihilated so easily. And I can see how like making it
learn somehow.
better, but like now you're just gonna get blown off the board turn one by shooting. So what are you learning there? I guess learning better deployment is easier than learning better list building. I don't know.
All I know is whenever I build a table, because at the store they use some of my terrain, and some of my terrain is actually castle walls. So I'm just gonna put castle walls in the middle of the table.
Yeah, we should run a GT where everything's castle walls. Every table you're assaulting a castle with broken walls that are all over the place.
You just have to hope that you get the right deployment zone.
Yeah, right. Oh man. Okay.
And we have to do it we have to go from long table edge to long table edge, so we don't use up that. So you put it on more tables.
Right. How does the
And then have
reserve rule affect summoning? Does anybody know?
It doesn't. Summoning is actually a way around it.
Oh, okay. There you go. Cold Dog 86. There's your answer.
Because summoning is you do it at the start of your move, at the movement phase, and your guy can't move anyway, so you're going to be in your deployment zone. So why would you, unless you move him forward? But he's not. It's not a. I forget what. I have to look at the summoning rule real quick. But it's not. The way it's been discussed is that it's not affected by it.
Right. Yeah, I agree, Ray. Ray says that he gets the can't move after shoot due to powers and abilities, and I was totally on board with that too. But
yeah, that part is okay, but the part where you have
stuck in your
to,
own deployment zone is, yeah, I agree, it's a bit much in my opinion.
they may change it. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens when it starts being used. For those that don't know, for at least for frontline events, the beta rules are in effect.
Mm-hmm.
Your TO does not have to use them.
Nope.
But if you feel that they are not good for the game, or you don't feel like, if you don't feel like trying them out, just try to convince your TO not to use the beta rules. Our TO tends to go with what frontline goes, because most of our guys use our RTTs.
Yeah, the people who play at our
practice for those
store are
events.
all playing. They all want to play that way, so that's what he does. Your TO may not. Your local area may not want to do that, so you can probably convince him to do something else. So, let's see. Tony was saying to take 6 assassins and then put them on the board and then run the rest of my Grey Knight stuff, because the assassins won't die. But I think I'll be CP boned on that one, right?
No, you'll be power level boned. You have to remember, because when you make that split, it also has to split by power level.
Right.
So you have to have 50 power level on the table and 50 power level, or
in
Whatever
reserve.
your power level is, 50 power level on
Yeah.
in reserves.
Yeah,
In addition to the unit numbers.
that's another thing that kind of makes me upset about that too. Like I don't understand why. I don't know. I just don't understand it. I guess, but we'll see. It's fine. Good
Lord
thing I
Draconis
ordered a
about
different army.
About the assassins are kind of fucked because of their deep strike ability.
Yeah, Tony, you're right. Anyone on the West Coast plays whatever ITC says. It's true. Pretty much. I can't think of a notable exception except for Broadside Bash, which I already said didn't count.
Well, I don't know what it says about the event, but even Frontline's running a RTT on for the Friday before Broadside.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So if anyone wants to go, I was thinking about going, but
It's not that we're lazy, Ray. It's that we're spoiled for choice of other things to do.
it's Southern California, Ray.
We have other things to do, so we don't want to sit around all day making up all of our own ways to play this game. Somebody's doing it for us, so I'm gonna go to the beach or I don't know, the mountains or the desert or whatever.
When I went the one year I went, I had a good time, but just the format wasn't
Yeah.
very, I don't know.
If you're going looking for like high competition, it's not really.
I mean, there's high end players there, but
Mhm.
the fact that they include paint and sports into your score, I mean, it's if for IT if all you're going there is to basically be best general, it's not conducive for that.
Right? No, not at all.
And I know Darian doesn't want to go because they still own prize support. I think that's what it is
They owe him something, yeah. I
from
remember
like
that.
20 years ago.
I don't think it was that long ago, but
I'm saying that's how long it was ago.
it's probably like 15.
Okay, sure.
I wish Darian was watching. He could confirm.
Alan, you saying the RTT?
No.
What's today? If I take the day off, I could probably go
To which one?
because it's in. Oh no, wait! It's next week. This weekend, right?
Which one?
The RTT, the frontline one on Friday.
Broadside Bash is the following weekend, not this weekend. The next weekend, right? Isn't it always that last weekend in April?
No, it's actually this weekend coming up.
Oh, okay.
So I can't go.
Because it's always around a time I can't go anyways because I go to DC. But so this year it's at the beginning of the trip. The previous years it's always been at the end.
Yeah, this year it's and for those that can't hear Danny left us because he had to go to sleep.
Yes, Danny has to wake up very early to get to work. We should go to the Bug Eater GT.
That's the one in Nebraska.
Yeah, I actually can't go that weekend. June 1st to 3rd.
1st to 3rd. I'm already committed to Boise.
Oh, okay. That's the weekend I have to do the drama production at work, so I have to run lights and sound for a bunch of kids all weekend. And watch and hope my sets don't fall over.
Yeah, Chris is saying it's this weekend.
Yeah, okay.
So this Friday is the RTT for that Frontline's going to run. Unfortunately, I have to work, so I can't go. I probably should have taken it. But we didn't know about it till this week
Right.
or last week.
They announced it just a couple weeks ago?
They literally announced it last Wednesday.
That's funny. See, I don't pay attention to anything that's Broadside Bash because I can't go. I never can go.
No,
I
Broadside
never
Bash
want
didn't
to.
announce it. Reese announced it.
Right, but aren't they doing it at the
Oh, they're doing it
Broadside Bash venue,
at
right?
Broadside. They're doing
the
it at
convention center.
Kingdom Con,
Right.
but they're doing it on a Friday.
Okay. But is it linked to Broadside Bash or is it separate?
It's separate.
Okay, so it's at the con, but it's not with Broadside Bash. It's a RTT that's separate. Got it.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, so they'll be fun. They'll be using their own, and because it isn't technically an FL.
Right. Oh, you cut out there, Adam.
Huh?
Is your microphone dying? What's going on over there? Uh-oh. Sounds like we lost Adam, everybody.
We did?
Oh, there you go. Now you're
Oh.
back.
Oh, okay.
What kind of janky setup are you using over there?
I don't know. It usually works fine. I'm gonna blame it on your end.
Blame it on I'm fine. It's not my end. It's even your Discord server.
Mm,
If you're on my Discord server, it'd be fine. Just
I
saying.
don't know. I'm hardwired in, buddy.
Okay.
I'm dialed in with my dial-up.
Yeah, sure. With your dial-up, well, there you go. There's the problem. You're using America Online. Okay. You want to call it a wrap?
Yeah, we call it a wrap. We do need to put out probably a calendar of stuff we can go to for next year, maybe.
Yeah, probably.
Figure out when everything is.
We also need to get the team together and have our team figure out what events they're going to.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be really good. We kind of just do whatever we want, but it would be good to have like people know what's going up. So
we should probably have a team calendar. That might be cool.
We should probably have a team calendar. This is good. It's a good brainstorming session live on the internet for everybody to hear.
That's fine. They can help out.
Yeah.
We're more or less done with the FAQ, guys, so we'll probably call it a night.
Yeah. We're gonna go ahead.
You haven't noticed.
Yeah. we're just BSing now, so thanks for tuning in and talking to us about the FAQs and looking at all the FAQs on the screen and all that kind of cool stuff. So
yeah, we'll see everybody again in a week or two, depending on our schedule.
Definitely not next week because I'm gone all next week.
What?
I'm in DC. What do you want?
Oh, that's right.
I got to take the 8th grade to DC.
Oh, the horror.
Yes. Alan says that we need Natalie to fill out what events I can go to. We need Natalie and work and my family and basically, right. Yeah. All
okay,
right.
that's a wrap.
On that note, talk to you guys later.
Bye.